The night my wife called me Derek didn't start like a disaster. It started like a small win for a tired dad. By the time she rolled that name into my ear and tried to pretend it was nothing, the damage was already done. Not to the marriage that had been cracking for a while, but to whatever was left of my denial. My name's Mark Reynolds. 40, suburban, 2 kids, a mortgage, and a minivan with stale fries under every seat. On paper, I'm a regular American dad. Most weeks feel like a loop. Work, traffic, homework, dishes, repeat. So when a Friday night opens up, just me and my wife in a quiet house, it feels like winning a small lottery. We dropped the kids at my sister Amy's around 6. She met us at the door with that tired aunt smile, already in sweatpants, already turning on a cartoon. The kids barely said goodbye. That's how normal it was. Back home, I cooked something simple: pasta, Jared sauce, garlic bread from the freezer. We ate on the couch, plates on our laps, some forgettable movie playing in the background. Lauren laughed at the screen a couple times, but it sounded more like habit than joy. I noticed it, then let it go. You learn to pick your battles after 8 years. The night moved in slow, easy steps. Dishes in the sink, lights clicked off downstairs, the creak of the stairs under our feet. It felt almost like muscle memory, the way we moved through the house together. For once, there wasn't a kid yelling or a phone buzzing every 3 seconds. Just us. Upstairs, things got quieter. No need for details, just 2 people trying to remember they're more than co-parents. For the first time in a while, she seemed present. Her hands on me, my hands on her, breathing finally lining up instead of competing. I remember thinking, maybe we're not as far gone as I thought. Then she leaned in close, her mouth right by my ear, and soft as a habit she didn't bother to check. She whispered, "Derek." Everything in me just stopped. There was a full second where the room went dead. No sound from the street, no hum from the heater, just that name hanging between us. I told myself I misheard. I wanted to mishear, but my body knew better. That tight, hollow drop in my stomach, like missing a step in the dark. I pulled back a little. "What did you say?" She froze for a fraction of a second. I saw it, the flash in her eyes, the recognition. Then the mask dropped back on. "Nothing," she said, already annoyed. "Why are you stopping? You called me Derek." My voice sounded calm, even to me. Too calm. She exhaled hard through her nose. "Oh my God, Mark. It was just a slip. People say the wrong name all the time. Don't make it weird." "Your ex's name," I said. "That's the slip." She rolled onto her back, stared at the ceiling like I was a ceiling stain. "You're being dramatic. We were in the middle of something and now you want to interrogate me? Seriously." I wasn't yelling. I wasn't even breathing heavily. I just looked at her. Really looked. The impatience, the lack of any real shame. She wasn't rattled because she hurt me. She was irritated because I noticed. "I just want to know why his name is in your mouth when you're with me," I said quietly. She turned away, gave me her back like a door closing. "Can we not? It was a mistake. Let it go." That was it. No apology. "No, I'm sorry. I don't know why I said that. Just a blanket order. Let it go." I lay there on my side, staring at the dark outline of her shoulder, listening to her breathing even out like nothing had happened. The ceiling above us looked the same as it always did. Same fan, same cracks, same shadows. But the room had changed. Or maybe I finally saw it. I didn't argue. I didn't push. I went completely quiet. Somewhere in that silence, something in me shifted. Not a roar, not a breakdown. Just a clean, cold line. This won't fade by morning. She could roll over and sleep like it was nothing. Couldn't. And that difference told me more about our marriage than any fight ever had. The smell of coffee hit me before I hit the bottom step. Sun through the kitchen window, cereal boxes on the counter from the kids' usual spot, her hair in a loose knot. If you filmed it on mute, it looked like a normal Saturday. Lauren was standing at the counter, phone in one hand, mug in the other, humming some half-remembered song. Thumb scrolling. No sign last night even existed. "Morning," I said. She glanced up, gave me a quick, flat smile. Hey! I sat down at the table, wrapped my hands around a mug that was still too hot to drink. I watched her move. Casual, easy. Not a hint of someone who'd dropped another man's name in our bed hours earlier. We need to talk about last night, I said. Her eyes rolled before the words even landed. Seriously? We're still on that? Yeah, I said. We are. She set her phone down a little too fast. Mark, I told you it was a slip. People say the wrong name all the time. You're blowing it way out of proportion. I held her gaze. You called me Derek. That's not a random name. That's your ex. She shifted her weight, crossed her arms. We've been together for 8 years. I had a life before you. I've known other people. Sometimes your brain glitches. It doesn't mean anything. Are you talking to him again? I asked. Her jaw tightened just enough to notice. She picked up her phone, turned slightly so the screen angled away from me. No, it was fast, too fast. The kind of answer you say to shut a door, not tell the truth. You didn't answer the question, I said. You just swatted it. She laughed once, sharp and humorless. Oh my God. Listen to yourself. You're acting paranoid over one word. This is what I mean, Mark. Your insecurity is exhausting. Insecure, I repeated. That's what you got from last night? Not that you hurt me. Not that it was messed up. Just that I'm insecure. She took a sip of coffee, as if I'd finally confirmed something for her. Women don't find that attractive, you know? A man who spirals over every little thing? It's not a good look. The words landed clean and cold. Not like an insult, more like a label she was trying to stick on me so she didn't have to look at herself. I'm not spiraling, I said. I'm asking if my wife is mentally somewhere else while she's in bed with me. The shower upstairs started running, our bathroom. She glanced at the ceiling, then at me, already halfway out of the conversation. I'm done talking about this, she said, grabbing her phone. You can either let it go or keep making it weird. I've got a lot to do today. She walked out of the kitchen, muttering something about drama under her breath. I stayed at the table. The house was quiet except for the water thudding in the pipes and the occasional notification buzzing on her abandoned mug ring. I replayed every word. No apology, no owning it, just me being insecure, unattractive, dramatic. She wasn't confused. She wasn't scared of losing me. She was irritated that I refused to pretend it didn't happen. That's when it shifted for me. I stopped trying to get comfort from her and started wanting something else entirely. Not revenge. Not a screaming match. Truth. If there was nothing going on, the truth would clear her easily. If there was something, it would come out on its own if I quit filling the silence for her. The shower kept running upstairs. I sat there with my cooling coffee and made a simple decision. I wasn't going to beg her to make me feel better about what she did. I was going to find out exactly who I was married to. Quietly, with my eyes open. By Wednesday, Lauren was overdoing it. Extra laughs at dumb jokes, big smiles, long hugs that felt half a beat too delayed. Phone always in her hand, screen always tilted away. She'd brush my shoulder walking past like she was in a commercial for marriage. I didn't push. I didn't bring up Derek. I just watched. That night, she said she had a late meeting. Training. Some project. She tossed a few work words together and kissed my cheek on her way out. The kiss felt like a signature on a document she hadn't read. I ended up on the couch, TV on low, mind empty. That's when I noticed her old tablet wedged between the cushions. The thing had been basically dead for a year, used by the kids for games until it stopped holding a charge. On autopilot, I picked it up and tapped the button. The screen flickered, then lit up. A Cloud Sync notification slid across the top. Her name on the account, her email, her apps loading one by one. No password screen, no prompt, just open. Messages appear. I didn't go searching. I didn't guess a pin. It was all just there. First thread at the top. Derek. My thumb hovered for half a second, then tapped. The latest message from her. 2 more months, I promise. I just need everything to look stable. His reply. Can't wait. Miss us. My chest didn't explode. It settled. I scrolled back. Weeks. Months. Her telling him we were basically roommates. She promised him a clean exit. Her counting down to a summer breakup like it was a vacation, not a bomb. Hotel plans. Secret meetups. Little fantasies typed out by the same hands that smoothed my shirt collar on date nights. I took screenshots. Every few pages I emailed them to myself. No shaking, no tears, just a steady, cold focus. An hour later, she came home, set her keys down, kissed my head, and walked upstairs like she hadn't just been planning a new life over my old one. I slid the tablet back exactly where I'd found it. The next morning, I called Brian, my closest friend, blunt, practical. I laid it out. He didn't waste words. Don't argue with someone who's already left in their head, he said. Just make sure when they walk, they don't take your spine with them. After work, I went to Amy's. My sister's good with forms, dates, and what counts on paper. I showed her enough to get the point across. The house was yours before the marriage, she reminded me. Her messages show intent to leave. She took the kids to see him without telling you? That matters. Start a folder. Time, dates, everything. Driving home, it clicked. This wasn't a bad night or a rough patch. It was a documented plan. She'd written the story herself. I just finally picked up the tablet and read it. It was a Tuesday night over dinner when she slid it in between bites of chicken and some story about her boss. So, I have this work trip coming up, Lauren said, eyes on her plate. Just a weekend training at a hotel near the office. Mandatory thing. I twirled my fork, kept my voice steady. Are all of you going? Yeah, she said quickly. Too quickly. Whole team. Workshops, bonding, whatever. It's boring, trust me. Later, when she was in the shower, I picked up the old tablet again. Messages synced like they always did. Same thread. Same man. There it was. The hotel name. Derek. Looking forward to finally having time together without sneaking. Her reply, me too. Feels like a test run for the real thing. That line didn't make me rage. It just closed the file in my head. Decision made. Friday morning. She rolled her small suitcase to the door, pretending not to be excited. Try not to miss me too much, she joked. I met her eyes. I'll do my best. She laughed, kissed my cheek, and left. The second her car turned the corner, I pulled out my phone. First call, a moving company. 1 bedroom's worth of belongings, clearly labeled. Same day if possible. Cash payment. Second call, the locksmith I'd used years back. Full lock change. Today. Upstairs, I worked methodically. No drama, no destruction. Just sorting. Her side of the closet, clothes, shoes, handbags. Her makeup drawer. Her jewelry box. Her desk stuff. The decorative junk she'd insisted on. I wrote her name on sticky notes and stuck them to everything that was hers, not ours. When the movers arrived, I walked them through it. Anything with her name on it goes. All of it. Delivery address? One guy asked, pen ready. I gave him Derek's apartment. On the last box, I taped a plain envelope to the top. Inside, one line in my handwriting. You said mistakes happen. So this happened. By late afternoon, the house felt different. Not empty, honest. Her echo was gone. The walls looked the same, but the air was clearer. The locksmith finished the final lock and handed me the new keys. I turned one in the front door, listened to the click, and for the first time in months, the house I lived in matched the reality I was actually in. My phone started buzzing just after dark. Unknown number first. I let it go. Then Lauren's name lit the screen. I picked it up. Yeah. Her voice came in hot, already mid-scream. What did you do? Mark, what did you do? I leaned against the kitchen counter, eyes on the empty space where her desk used to sit. You're going to have to narrow that down. My stuff is in front of Derek's building, she shouted. All of it. On the sidewalk. His neighbors are staring, his landlord is staring. Are you insane? You need to bring a truck and fix this. Now. Your belongings, I said slowly, are exactly where you've been trying to move them for months. You're out of your mind, she snapped. You can't just throw me out over one mistake. One mistake doesn't usually come with hotel reservations and a countdown, I answered. Talk to Derek. I hung up. 2 minutes later, my phone rang again. Different numbers. I answered. Is this Mark? Male voice, tight, pissed. Yeah. This is Derek, he spat. What the hell did you just do? Lauren is outside my building sobbing, and my girlfriend is throwing boxes down the stairs. You think this is funny? I kept my tone even. You might want to check your messages before you pick a side, Derek. What messages? He barked. I ended the call, then sent him a batch of screenshots. Lauren trashing me, promising him summer, saying we were basically over but living like roommates until it's safe. 30 seconds passed. Then another call. Same number. I picked up, didn't speak. In the background I heard Kayla, his girlfriend, screaming. Something heavy hit a wall. Derek yelped. Kayla, stop, just listen. Then a crash. More cursing. The line cutting out. Next up, Lauren's mother, Linda. How could you do this to my daughter? She demanded. No hello. Just accusation. You've ruined her life over a tiny mistake. Everyone slips up. You don't throw a wife out into the street for that. I took a breath. She called me another man's name in bed and spent months planning to leave with him behind my back. That's not a slip, Linda. That's a strategy. She told me you're overreacting. Linda shot back. Men are all the same. You can sleep around, but one mistake from a woman and it happens. I cut in using Lauren's own line. That's what she told me. Word for word. Silence, then a muttered insult and the call dropped. Hours later, the doorbell started ringing like an alarm. Fist pounding followed. I opened the door halfway. Lauren stood there, hair wild, makeup streaked, fury doing laps in her eyes. Let me in, she demanded, trying to push the door. I didn't move. No, you can't just lock me out of my own house because you're hurt, she snapped. This is still my home, Mark. I made one mistake. The name wasn't the mistake, I said. That was just the part you couldn't hide. She glared. You think this is over? You think you can just throw me out and that's it? In this house, I said. Yeah, it's over. Her eyes went glassy, but not with regret, with rage at losing control. I let her see nothing on my face in return. Then I closed the door. Not dramatic, not slammed, just shut. I woke up, rolled over, and grabbed my phone. No texts from Lauren. No calls. Just a notification. Lauren Reynolds made a new post. Curiosity 1. Long caption. Sad selfie. Puffy eyes. Perfect lighting. She wrote about being thrown out with nothing, about people turning cold over tiny mistakes, about losing everything overnight because some men don't know how to forgive. Lots of lines about healing, trauma, and finding strength when the person you love gives up on you. Not one word about Derek. Not one word about the hotel, the months of planning, the double life. Comments rolled in. Stay strong, girl. Men don't understand mistakes. Real love forgives. I watched it pile up. For a while I said nothing. Let them talk. Let them comfort the version of her she wished she was. Then I hit the line where she implied I'd emotionally worn her down for years, and finally snapped. That was my line. I clicked into the comments and wrote one sentence. Lauren called me by her ex's name during intimacy and hid a months-long relationship with him. No rant. No insults. Just data. The thread went quiet. A few people liked my comment, then disliked it. Some messaged me privately. Is that true? I'm sure it's more complicated than that. Can I see what you're talking about? I sent screenshots to the ones who asked. Some never replied. Some apologized. None of that changed what happened in my house. Around noon, I got an email from HR asking if I could step into a quick call. The subject line had that careful corporate tone. Touching base. On the call, the HR rep cleared her throat. We received a message from your wife, she said. She expressed concern you might, quote, cause a scene at work due to a domestic situation. Is everything okay? I looked around my cubicle. Same monitor, same stapler, Same spreadsheet half finished. I'm at my desk. I'm working, I said. My wife is upset because I ended the marriage after discovering an affair. I can provide proof if needed. We don't need the details, she said quickly. You seem calm and professional. If anything changes, let us know. Also, if you need time off, talk to your manager. My boss pulled me aside later. You're solid here, he said. Handle your life. Your job's not in danger. After work, I drove downtown to meet the attorney Amy recommended. Daniel Harper. No fake warmth. Just a firm handshake and a legal pad. I laid everything out. The name slip, the messages, the move, the hotel, the kids, the social media post, the HR stunt. He listened, flipped through printed screenshots, nodded once. House is in your name from before the marriage, he said. You've got documented proof of her intent to leave and of her bringing the kids around another man without your knowledge. You stayed calm, she escalated publicly. That helps. Don't gloat, don't engage, don't threaten. Just document. He tapped a specific line in one of the messages where she said she'd been emotionally done for a long time and was just waiting for the right moment to switch houses. This isn't just heartbreak, he said. This is a narrative. Judges read. Driving home, it clicked all the way in. She could post, spin, cry, and accuse, but at the end of the day, the story that actually mattered was the one written in her own words, with timestamps. All I had to do was keep my hands clean and my mouth shut until the right room asked for it. Family court doesn't look like TV. No booming voices, no dramatic gasps. Just bad lighting, worn-out chairs, and people who've seen the same mistakes 1,000 times. Lauren walked in ahead of me, soft sweater, modest skirt, hair pulled back in a neat bun. She looked like a brochure for good mother, bad husband. She didn't glance at me. I sat at my table with Daniel Harper beside me. In front of him, a neat stack of folders. Inside those folders, her words. Her lawyer went first, painted her as a blindsided wife, unfairly removed from her home after a misunderstanding. Said she'd always been the primary caregiver. I talked about my sudden extreme reaction to a minor marital issue. I sat there, hands folded, and let him talk. I'd spent years absorbing her version of reality. I could handle 10 more minutes. Then Daniel stood. He didn't raise his voice. He just started laying out paper. Your Honor, he said. This was not a sudden reaction. This was a response to a long-term, documented plan by Mrs. Reynolds to leave the marriage for another man, Mr. Derek Coleman, while maintaining the appearance of stability. He handed the judge a packet. These are months of messages between Mrs. Reynolds and Mr. Coleman. Judge Anderson flipped through them. Silver hair, tired eyes, zero patience for fluff. Daniel kept going. In these exchanges, Mrs. Reynolds calls her husband emotionally dull, states that she is counting down to a breakup in the summer, refers to a clean exit from the family home, and makes secret hotel arrangements under cover of a work retreat. She also confirms taking the children to Mr. Coleman's apartment without informing Mr. Reynolds. He sat back down. The room felt smaller. The judge looked over her glasses at Lauren. Mrs. Reynolds, did you call your husband by Mr. Coleman's name during marital intimacy? Lauren shifted. It was a slip. I told him that. People. Did you or did you not? The judge cut in. Lauren stared at the table. Yes. And did you respond, it happens, when he raised his concern? Her voice dropped. I might have. I don't remember exact. It's in your message, the judge said, tapping the paper. You used that phrase to describe the incident. She moved on. Did you take your children to Mr. Coleman's residence without informing their father it was a romantic partner's home? Lauren tried to spin it. A friend. Just visiting. The kids like him. But every sentence ran into another screenshot. Eventually, Judge Anderson held up a hand. That's enough. She turned to me. Mr. Reynolds, you have maintained employment, remained in the marital home, and responded to this situation with restraint while documenting appropriately. For the temporary orders, primary physical custody of the children will be awarded to you. Mrs. Reynolds will have a scheduled visitation. The home remains with you. She looked back at Lauren. This is not punishment. It is about stability for the children. Outside the courtroom, Lauren caught up to me. You destroyed everything over one slip, she hissed. I met her eyes. You ended it the night you said his name and decided I was the problem for caring. All I did was stop covering for you. Then I walked away, not as her husband, not as her villain. Just as the man who finally believed what he saw. Mornings are different now. No whispers behind doors. No phones lighting up face down on the nightstand. No kids hovering in hallways pretending they don't hear arguing. Just alarms, cereal bowls, and two half-asleep children dragging backpacks to the door while I yell, shoes, not socks. For the third time, the air feels lighter. That's the best way I can put it. The custody order went from temporary to official a few weeks back. Kids with me most of the time. Lauren across town in a small rental. Seeing them on a schedule that lives on the fridge and on my phone. Pickups, drop-offs, no improvising. She hates it, but she sticks to it because court papers don't care about feelings. Her mother, Linda, tried to keep the commentary going at first. Little digs during handoffs. Comments about kids needing their mother loud enough for the neighbors to hear. One letter from Daniel about harassment shut that down. Now she glares, signs the school forms when it's her turn, and keeps her mouth shut. Derek didn't last. Word got around that Kayla kicked him out hard, and a few months later he transferred out of the city. New office, new state, whatever. He moved himself off the board. Kayla messaged me once. Short, to the point. Didn't know you, but you saved me months of lies. Thanks. I replied with a simple, you didn't deserve it either. That was it. Somewhere in the middle of all this I met Priya. She's a parent at the kids' school. Steady voice, tired eyes, single mom with her own scars. We ran into each other at pickup, then again at a school event, then again at a grocery store. Life kept putting us in the same aisles. One evening after a PTA thing, she asked, so, what's your story? And I told her. Not every detail, but enough. When I got to the part about Lauren whispering another man's name and calling it nothing, Priya shook her head once. No one says another man's name like that unless something was already broken, she said. You weren't crazy for hearing it. We didn't dive into anything heavy after that. No big speeches. Just two adults moving slow, honest, and respectful. She knows I'm still rebuilding. I know she's doing the same. That's enough. Christmas rolled around sooner than I expected. Custody agreement said Lauren had Christmas Eve until 6 p.m. I had Christmas morning. Clear, written, signed. On the 23rd, she texted, can I have them Christmas morning too? Just this once? We can swap something else. I looked at the message for a long minute. Then I typed, we're sticking to the schedule. Her reply came fast. You're using the kids to hurt me. I put the phone down and didn't answer. I wasn't using anyone. I was following the structure that keeps our kids out of the spinning story in her head. Christmas morning in my house was simple. Pancakes, cheap wrapping paper everywhere, cartoons in the background. My daughter tried on every new thing she'd gotten within 20 minutes. My son got quiet for a second, watching the tree. Dad? He asked. Yeah, buddy? Do you still love Mom? I didn't dodge it. I love that she's your mom, I said. I don't love her the way I did before. That part's different now. He thought about it, then nodded. Okay, he said, like I just explained how gravity works. That night, after I dropped them at Lauren's for her evening, I came back to a quiet house. Same walls, same furniture, new life. I walked room to room, closing curtains, checking locks out of habit. When I got to the bedroom, I paused. I remembered that first night, her breath in my ear, the wrong name, the way she made me feel like I was broken for caring. The way I stared at the ceiling and tried to convince myself it might fade by morning. Didn't. And thank God. Now, the truth is small and solid. In this home, the names we say match the lives we're actually living. No one is performing. No one is being told their pain is nothing. I sit on the edge of the bed, look straight at you. The man listening, the guy who's been told he's too sensitive, too insecure, too dramatic for noticing something is off. Here's what I learned the hard way. When someone laughs at your hurt and tells you it's small, they're not protecting your heart. They're protecting their storyline. Believe what you hear. Believe what you see. Believe in yourself. Thanks for walking through this with me. I don't need pity. I needed what I finally gave myself. A line I wouldn't let anyone cross, even if they shared my last name.
Subscribe and stay one step ahead of cheaters. And trust me, the next story makes this one look like a fairy tale.